Hello, happiness abounder, and welcome back. Episode 502 and our second episode that is our once a week format. So I hope that you are digging the once a week format. Hopefully it's less pressure to have to listen to everything every single day. I know that a lot of you really enjoy the everyday format, but then found that if you missed one, you fell behind and then you felt like you couldn't catch up. And so I hope the once a week is a little bit more your speed, and it definitely is mine. So now, if you're watching this on video, you obviously can't tell if you're listening to the audio, but if you're listening on audio, please know, and if you're watching on video, you already can see I am wearing my custom-made Mickey Mouse ears, and I am wearing them today for two reasons. One, when I wrap up this episode, I will actually be going off for a week-long vacation to Disneyland, and I'm really excited about it. But two, I also am wearing them because going to this Disneyland vacation is a core piece of my story in today's episode. So that said, what is today's episode all about? Well, it really falls within this category of leadership. It's kind of mindset, but definitely on the leadership scale of the formula, right? And a quick recap, the formula is your identity plus your vision plus your mindset plus leadership equals happiness and also equals getting your goals. You have to know who you are, where you're going, have the right mindset, some belief breakthroughs, things like that, and then have the leadership in your life to be able to get those things. So I really want to hone in on leadership in your life today and specifically share a personal story which relates to Disneyland. So the personal story is this. Over the past 4 years, but more closely aligned with the last two, whenever I have had a rough time, a bad day at work, or just feeling overwhelmed, and I know, happiness mentor, you should know right now, I'm not happy all the time. I don't expect everyone to be happy all the time. We're all humans. We deal with our emotions. And when we deal with our emotions, we identify and work through them, then we can feel and be happier. So that said, having rough times in my life, and I would come home. I remember saying to my husband, I just want to escape to Disneyland. And that's like all I want. I just want to escape to Disneyland. I just wish we could go to Disneyland. And the part that comes into the leadership piece was my husband would be like, well, we can go. We can totally go. Like, we can call in tomorrow and we can pick up and we can go. And just because we could go didn't mean that we should go. Meaning that financially speaking, it wasn't the right time for us. We had been working to make sure that we were all aligned in our budgets and things like that. And while we may have had the money, it was not, that money was dedicated elsewhere. So as rough of and hard as a time as I may have been having, and as accommodating and wonderful as my husband may have been, several times in the last 2 years, I have had to say, I really, really want that. Like really want that, but it's not the right time. And I can't escape and avoid my emotions, and I can't escape and avoid what's happening here. I'm going to have to come back to it anyways. And so I just need to do the work. I need to show leadership, discipline in my own life and in our life. And we know we can't go to Disneyland. As much as I want to go to Disneyland, oh my goodness, do I want to go to Disneyland. And it's just not the right time. So for 2 years, anytime there was a rough day and I was like, it was so rough that I just wish I could escape and I wanted to escape to Disneyland, I had to lead my own life. And it was hard because I have my husband saying, yeah, let's go. So I really had to be like, I can't rely on him to tell me no, right? I can't rely on other people to hold me accountable. I have to lead my own life and be the one to say, no, a trip to Disneyland it's just not the right time right now. That money is allocated for other things and it's just not something we can do. And it's not right to go when I'm just really trying to escape because I'm going to have to come back to the real world eventually. And then I have used money that wasn't prepared or allocated for that. And it's just not good all the way around. So the reason I bring that up and I'm wearing my mouse ears today is because I'm leaving on vacation to Disneyland, and I'm so excited because the money has been allocated. And it's not because I have been overwhelmed at work, although I have, but it's more so along these lines of this is planned and it's an exciting break. And it's something that we have been talking about and wanting for, like I said, the last 4 years. More specifically, I have been dying for it the last 2. And it really has this thought around it of this feeling of accomplishment. Because I was able to lead my life and our finances and our travel planning and all those components in a way that allows me to fully step in and embrace and enjoy this vacation. So, what does that have to do with you? 5 minutes of my Disneyland vacation story. Hopefully there's something in there that's like, yeah, I do that too, or I wish I had that, or whatever your Disneyland may be that maybe you're wishing you could escape to. And maybe you have escaped to, and then you've had to deal with the repercussions and ramifications afterward. But 5 minutes in, 6 minutes in, what does this mean for you, and what does this mean for happiness? The biggest thing here is that as we're looking at our goals, we're new into 2020 right now, but you should be looking at your goals at any time. Start tomorrow, even if it is a Thursday or whatever. But as we're looking at our goals and our resolutions for 2020, most of us by now have stopped those, or we're on the verge of stopping those. And the thing is that it comes down to leading your life, not taking the easy and I want this route. And I'm not saying that we should not have things that we want. That is not what I'm saying at all. Obviously, I'm going to Disneyland. That's what I want. But what I am saying is that we can be practical about it and lead our lives for the bigger in the end goal. Because if we had gone to Disneyland all those times that I wanted to, or even just one of those times that I wanted to when it was an escape, it would have financially set us back months from a plan that we have. It would have not felt enjoyable and exciting. It would have felt like a break from my life, which is not authentic, and not like it is part of my life, but it's a break. And then I have to go back to the real world and face it all again. And now I'm even worse off because I put us 3 months behind because of an indulgence, because I was uncomfortable and wanted to escape. So as this relates to you and your goals and leading your life, if you have set resolutions, goals, intentions, whatever it is, for 2020 or at any point in time that you may be listening to this, if you have those, I want you to consider what happens when you need your Disneyland. What happens when it's so rough and you've been eating healthy and it was just a really emotional day and you go for the sugar and you've been sugar-free for 10 days? Can you have the leadership and the discipline to see the bigger picture in mind and know that when you reach your goals, if that thing that was an escape thing is still like not even just, it's not viewed as an escape anymore, but it's viewed as like a fun and indulgence and planned and important thing, there's such a difference between those two. And if you can see the long-term picture, that long-term view, and put aside the need to escape and focus on your goals and lead your life, then things will come to you much faster, much quicker, and you'll be able to enjoy them much better down the line. If your goal is health and eating healthy or working out, you know that eventually you will feel better. You know that this day and this time will pass, and that if you do not cave in and you put yourself and you lead yourself first, 3 months down the line, you're going to be rocking those 6-pack abs, or you're going to be feeling fantastic and clear mentally in all these pieces that you wouldn't have gotten if you gave in that moment of stress. If you didn't lead yourself to the ultimate goal. If you didn't lead yourself to where you want to go. So leadership being a huge component of this happiness formula, because you can know who you are, you can know where you want to go, you can have the right mindsets, but if you don't lead your life and you don't have that authority for yourself, getting that goal, whether it's happiness, weight loss, or I shouldn't say weight loss, weight health, right? Whether it's making more money, being debt-free, whatever that goal may be for you, starting a podcast, whatever it is, if you give up on those days when it gets hard because you don't have the authority and belief in yourself and the leadership of yourself to see the bigger picture and keep on going in that direction, it's going to constantly feel like you're starting over and over and over again. And what happens there is our brain goes, okay, well, I said I committed to this, and then we lasted 7 to 10 days, and then I gave in, and now I'm starting again, and I already have evidence that I'm going to give up, so maybe I just last 5 days this time, and now, okay, I'm going to try again, and maybe I last 3 days this time. And your brain builds this evidence that when things get hard, you can let go of your commitments. Specifically, you can let go of those commitments to yourself. Which is this crazy, mind-boggling thing when you think about it. And I'm not immune to this. Let's just say that right now. Like I'm saying, yeah, I didn't give in to wanting to go to Disneyland. That's an easy thing to walk away from because it's a lot of money and it's a travel and it's a lot of stuff. But when you have that hard day and you're like, I've been sugar-free and there's a free donut on the counter at work and you're stressed to the max and you're like, oh my gosh, that donut, it would just make me feel so good and it would just be an escape from this day and I could just take a bite and it would be wonderful. That wonderful, quotes around wonderful, because in the moment, maybe, but in the long run, it doesn't serve you. I want you to think about that. Specifically, I want you to think about, are you a leader in your own life? Do you have the authority to tell your emotions and to tell the cravings and the escapism, no? Do you have that authority? Do you have that leadership quality? And if you don't, I want you to consider how you can start to build that up. The reason that we have leaders in the world, like there's leaders in the world and there are some who are not admired and some who are. But I want you to think about leaders that you admire. Chances are they keep their commitments. They have the power and the authority for themselves to say yes or no. They set boundaries and they move forward towards their goals quickly. Now that's a small component of leadership, but in personal leadership, that's everything. So I want you to think of that individual and think about the things that you admire about them. And then consider how you can emulate them in your own life as it correlates to your 2020 goals, as it correlates to what you're striving for and where you want to go and who you want to be and what you want to do. Keep that picture in your mind always so that when the time comes, you can pass up the sugar. You can go and do that workout. You can not spend the money, or you can make sure you do the budget, or you can create that podcast episode, or whatever your goals may be. You'll be able to do it and do it consistently and make that progress and build the evidence that you keep your word, that you are a leader in your life, that you have that authority if you step into leadership in your own life. So I know that this episode feels a little different than my normal episodes. I'm not going to give you a huge action item thing. Just want you to consider, are you a leader in your own life? And when the times get really hard, can you say no to that thing that you really think that you want? So that when you do get that thing that you want, you can enjoy it fully without the guilt of letting yourself down. That's what it comes down to. So like I said, if you're watching this on video, you see my beautiful mouse ears, and it's because I'm going to Disneyland, and I have said no to going to Disneyland for so long, and it's finally the right time and the right place and the right reasoning, and I'm so excited about it. If you're listening on audio, go check out Instagram, happiness_abound. That is where I'm sharing pictures of my Disneyland trip, but also I will share, actually I already have shared on my Instagram stories, my beautiful ears, which are actually, they are reversible. So there's one style on one side and one style on the other side, and they're really fun. They're custom made for me. actually had them from years and years ago, and I'm excited to get to wear them again and wear them for all the right reasons and with, quite frankly, all the pride that comes with being able to go for the right time, the right reason, the right spending, the works. So I want that for you, whatever it is for you. I want you to be able to feel this way. I want you to be able to work through those difficult times and lead yourself so that when you get on this other side, you have all the joy and all the love and all the enjoyment that you deserve. So that said, I'm going to leave you with that today. If you're like, Taylor, I don't know how to be a leader in my own life, feel free to reach out to me and we can talk about it, because being a leader in your own life looks different for each of us. But I'm happy to talk through it with you and chat about how you can start to become a leader and step into that position for yourself so that you can stop letting yourself down and start getting your dreams. So a couple ways to do that. I think the way I would most recommend is joining my Facebook group. So if you go to facebook.com/groups and Happiness Abounders, there's a few questions like, hey, why are you here? How did you hear about it? And you can come on in. There's a huge group of people, which is awesome. And you can reach out and say, hey, I don't know how to be a leader in my life, or I'm a little concerned about this, or I've taken a few steps. I want to know what those next steps are. Can you help? And then you'll not only have me that can help answer those questions, but you'll also have a group of loving individuals who are on a similar path and journey there to help and share their experiences as well. So Facebook group is a great way to engage, to interact with me. I also, starting next week, will be doing lives in the Facebook group answering questions. You can ask there as well. But definitely be sure to check it out. It's really exciting and something new for Happiness Abound this year. So again, that's facebook.com/groups and Happiness Abounders. If that's not your vibe, I totally get it. That's fine as well. You can reach out to me on Facebook normal at Happiness Abound blog. You can reach out to me on Instagram at happiness_abound, or if email is your way to go, you can also reach me at happinessabound.com. There's a contact form and I make sure to always respond. So that said, I want you to have a wonderful day, a wonderful week, and start to consider how you have been a leader in your own life. And if you have, I'd love to hear your success stories and be able to read through them while I'm in Disneyland, and it would just bring me so much more joy. So that said, please reach out to me. Let me know how I can help you. And if nothing else, start to look at how you can be a leader in your own life. But above everything else, remember, you are capable of happiness abound.